There's a mockingbird singing in a dogwood tree outside my window, reminding me of a time gone by. August 19th, 69. That day seemed like the world stood still, 'cause the wind didn't blow on the mountains or the fields. The storm was coming without a warning, her name Camille. And the rain came down with a mighty roaring sound, and the mountains fell and mixed the water and the blood. We never heard you cry, didn't get to say goodbye. So I'll be your voice, I'll tell your story, we won't forget you. She came from hell like a thief in the night, with no regard for any life, and washed away friends and family. So many died, some never found. The graves lie here on sacred ground. You were here, and in our hearts you'll always be. Yeah, the rain came down with a mighty roaring sound, and the mountains fell and mixed the water and the blood. We never heard you cry, didn't get to say goodbye. So I'll be your voice, I'll tell your story, we won't forget you. We'll hear your spirit in a whippoorwill song, remember you and sing along. Amazing grace and precious memories. And the rain came down with a mighty roaring sound, and the mountains fell and mixed the water and the blood. We never heard you cry, didn't get to say goodbye. So I'll be your voice, I'll tell your story, we won't forget you. There's a mockingbird singing in a dogwood tree outside my window, reminding me of a time gone by. August 19th and 20th, 1969.
I am wading in the water. I am wading in the water. I am wading in the water. I'm going to the other side. I am wading in the water. I am wading in the water. I am wading in the water. I'm going to the other side. I am knee deep in the water. Knee deep in the water. Oh, knee deep in the water. I'm going to the other side. I am waist deep in the water. Waist deep in the water. Waist deep in the water. I'm going to the other side. I am chin deep in the water, chin deep in the water, chin deep in the water. I'm going to the other side. I am one time neath the water, 2 times neath the water, 3 times neath the water. I'm going to the other side. I am going to the other side. I am going to the other side.
Grandma's eyes grew misty, her hand lay by a sweaty glass of tea. She said, yes, indeed, she'd missed me, but my questions made it very hard to see. Talk to those people in Howard'sville, get them to tell you about Camille. The river tide ran lazy, caught her waiting for the moon to rise. Then the weather turned crazy, from the south that evil girl arrived. Talk to those people in Woods Mill. Let me tell you about Camille. Well, they'll say every drop of rain that falls rides down on an angel. If that's the case, then on that night the heavens surely emptied out. Talk to those people in Massey's Mill. Let me tell you about Camille. Grandma's hand was shaking as she wiped away a tear that tried to fall. She said, I can't believe it's aching. I haven't cried in years as I recall. Talk to those people in Howardsville. Let me tell you about Camille. She took little bitty babies, dried up old men just waiting for God's call. Beautiful young maidens, mothers and sons, my God, she took them all. Talk to those people in Woods Mill. Let me tell you about Camille. Well, they'll say every drop of rain that falls rides down on an angel. If that's the case, then on that night the heavens surely emptied out. Talk to those people in Massey's Mill. Let me tell you about Camille. Thank you very much.
When I was young, the rain came down, soaked into the dry, dry ground. It kept on raining, it didn't stop till it reached the building tops. And that rain washed things away that have not been found to this day. I lost so many that I loved in that 69 flood, 'cause a river raged that day where river never was, and the memories are a teardrop away from that Nelson County flood, from that Nelson County flood. There was no warning, couldn't get away. Camille had no mercy. I reached for the sky while it pushed me down. Prayed to the Lord that I would be found, 'cause a river raged that day where
you, Nelson. My daddy was a railroad man, he worked the Monroe line. It was 40 years ago when I saw this as a child. The road washed out, the tracks were gone at the Tye River Mill. From Monroe to Charlottesville, the southern line stood still. One summer day in '69, the clouds began to form. There's nothing wrong in Massey's Mill, it's just a thunderstorm. The wind came up, the rain came down, the trees began to sway. The mountain cried, and the people washed away. It rained on Massey's Mill. It rained the night the mountain fell. It came thundering down the mountain like a fast-moving train. Oh Lord, how hard it rained. 10 miles away at Davis Creek, the story was the same. The mountain folk were sound asleep the night the deluge came. No time to run, no time to hide, no time to feel the pain. It carried farms and families down the Rockfish to the James. It rained on Massey's Mill. It rained the night the mountain fell. It came thundering down the mountain like a fast-moving train. Oh Lord, how hard it rained. The mountains now have healed their scars, the valleys now are green. Unless you saw, you'd never know, it's such a peaceful scene. The people stayed, rebuilt their land, the grief is in their blood for the 200 lost in the Nelson County flood. It rained on Massey's Mill. It rained the night the mountain fell. It came thundering down the mountain like a fast-moving train. Oh Lord, how hard it rained. Oh Lord, how hard it rained. Oh Lord, how hard it rained. It rained, it rained.
Well, you know, I thought we'd start off with a little song. That song I wrote some years ago. Got a little homesick for Virginia. And so wrote this tune. And it kind of explains it. The first part of this I wrote for Earl Hamner. Him and I became good friends because you see the Waltons TV show, no matter where I'm at in this world, it always takes me back home. I always feel like I'm back in Nelson County. He passed away a couple of years ago, but I got to do this song for him. And a little something like this right here. Come with me and I'll take you away to a place I knew yesterday, where wildflowers grow and peaceful rivers flow, and the blue mountains mingle with the stars, and the memories that make you who you are. Where the mountains of Virginia call my name, life somehow keeps taking me away. But I go back in my mind, back to those Nelson County times. Virginia trees, they always take me back. Virginia trees, there's no other place like that. No matter where life takes me, or how far away it seems, I keep going back in my Virginia dreams. Yeah, I've roamed this whole world over, I've been everywhere, but when you see those Blue Ridge Mountains, no others can compare. Like the tall trees on the mountainside, my roots are very deep in the rivers and the valleys of my Virginia dreams. Virginia trees, they always take me back. Virginia trees, there's no other place like that. No matter where life takes me, how far away it seems, I keep going back in my Virginia dreams. Yeah, I still hold it sacred, this place that I call home, 'cause I love to ride the back roads and smell the fresh hay mowed. From the mountains to the ocean, that great Atlantic shore, they hold everything I dream of, and I couldn't love it more. Virginia trees, they always take me back. Virginia trees, there's no other place like that. No matter where life takes me, or how far away it seems, I keep holding on to my Virginia dream. I love to feel the wind blow through the tall pines and hear the pretty sound of a whippoorwill. I love to smell the lilac in the springtime. Oh, I still see me running through the fields. Virginia trees, they always take me back. Virginia trees, there's no other place like that. No matter where life takes me, how far away it seems, I keep going back in my Virginia dream. Yeah, no matter where life takes me, how far away it seems, I keep holding on to my Virginia dream. Virginia dream, Virginia dream. Thank you all so much.
Don't get no better than that.
Oh.
So we're going to get to the heart of the thing here. We're here to celebrate, pay respect to the people that lost their lives, and celebrate the ones that are living. And so we're going to be doing some original stuff. And Jimmy's got an original song, and I got one, but I'm going to do this song called The Bypass for you. My father was a dispatcher that night, and you know, for a couple years before that, all the talk was this road was going to bypass Livingston, because it was the main thoroughfare. If you came from the south going to the north, you had to go through Livingston. And the light at Food Line's not the first light in Nelson County, because there was a caution light, some of you remember. Had a hardware store and two car dealerships, a drugstore, a bank, you know, and that was a conversation sometime around the dinner table. Theater, that's right. Well, then my father was dispatching that night, and he came home that morning and he said, I was getting calls last night, and the mother would be on the phone and say, we're upstairs and the water's come up and we can't go any higher. And he says, I knew nobody was able to get to him, but I would tell them to just huddle together with the kids. And he said the Lord's Prayer with some people. And then the line would get dead. And he did this all through the night. So the conversation about the road was no longer the main conversation, of course. My mother said, you know, it's kind of ironic, isn't it? That road that everybody talked about became a lifeline where the helicopters landed and the planes and kind of took over. And that kind of set with me. And I wanted to be a singer and a songwriter, and I was so naive to think that everybody on the radio wrote their own songs. And not having a lot of life experiences at that age, that was right up in my face. So I didn't know I couldn't write a song. So school was out, of course, and I'd go to work with my father at the sheriff's office, and they had a kitchen back there, and I took a yellow notepad and I started writing this song out, not knowing the structure of a song. It doesn't have a chorus to it. Came home that morning and sung it to my mother, and she said, you know, people got to hear this. It was not a monetary thing it was done for. She said, people need to hear this. So John Major heard it over at the studio, and he said, I'll cut it. It's going to be $500, and you get 500 singles. Mom and Dad didn't have $500. He said, well, I'll go ahead and cut it. The drugstore in Livingston sold 13,000 copies, you know. Wow. He would put the cases of singles on a Trailway bus, and they would drop them off at the store, you know, the drugstore. And then in 5 states, it did sell over 300,000 copies, and a lot of people got to hear it. So it was kind of, you know, a big deal for us because we were so close to it. So
Yep.
I've never had the opportunity to explain that song to anybody over the years. So now you kind of it gives it a little more life and a little more understanding of why it's called the Bypass.
It's a great song. It's a great song.
The highway bypassed their town. Everyone was putting everyone down. They blamed everyone else, but they didn't blame themselves. Said they wouldn't stay here very long. But you don't know what you've got until it's gone. The stores weren't large, but they fed the people around. We even had a movie hall at the other side of town. People, they would come sometimes from far away. On the billboard outside it read the longest stay. The men on the night shift left to go to work. Some didn't make it for the rocks and sliding earth. Their families laid down for a night of peaceful sleep, not knowing before the dawn they were drowned in the muddy deep. But then that night the rains came down, the loud clap of thunder and the roaring, screaming sound. Children cried for mother, and mothers prayed to God. A lot of Nelson loved ones rest beneath the sod. Now the highway that took the business from their lives became a light in the night. When the planes came down to save their town, the highway was the only spot safe in the ground. Now the night of the disaster is like a terrible dream, but we respect the highway with the highest esteem. We won't forget that night and the misery we've known. We're gonna build a town back, won't take very long. You don't know what you've got until it's gone. you got until it's gone. You don't know what you got until it's gone. Thank you. Beautiful. We'll do that for Cecil and Mel. Now, Benny, you're going to do a song that Raw Satterwhite wrote. Raw here
Stand
today?
up, Raw.
Stand up,
Where
Raw
are you,
Satterwhite.
son?
One of the treasures around here, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest writers, I tell you, he writes some great songs. You're going to hear a lot about him in the future, I promise you, because he's such a great writer and such a great fellow. We appreciate him. We go back a long ways to Curtis Matthews.
Yep.
Years ago, yeah.
Back to the old theater. Somebody was talking about the theater. I used to sneak in there, you know.
Raw was kind enough to let Benny and I come and intrude on him and his wife not too long ago, and we sat there and played some music and did some song swapping, and he is a Nelson County treasure, one of the most talented people that you would ever know. He's had several bluegrass hits that he's written from other people. He's kind of, you know, he's one of them people in the back, you know, that people don't know is back there, but I cherish your friendship. I'm so happy that you could be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Raw has had some songs, some national bluegrass groups that have played on the Opry, and I forget which one, but anyway, he's wonderful songwriter. I'm very honored to, because I've always looked up to Raw. There's a song called The Prevailing Rain. The rain kept on falling, and the water it was high. Mountain they did crumble, and the people they did cry. What have we done, Lord? Where have we failed? But the water kept rising, and the rain did prevail. August was upon us. Nights were hot and still, standing echo of a lonely whippoorwill. People went to sleep at night with no cause alone. Mountains would watch and keep them from all harm. A gentle rain was falling, and the folks felt they were blessed just to see it run day in, and they could get some rest. They dreamed about the beauty of these hills they loved to roam, but oh, the sounds of rocks and timber crashing through their home. The rain kept on falling, and the water rose high. The mountains did crumble, and the people they did cry. What have we done, Lord, and where have we failed? But the water kept on rising, and the rain it did prevail. They cried out for the children as they fought to stay alive, but answers they were praying for never did. They were swept down through the hollows where their families lived before, but the lightning showed no sign of us standing anymore. Death that night came quickly with no chance to say goodbye. Friends and family gone with the blinking of an eye. Ever take the ones you love for granted every day, or you might wake up one morning and two have gone away. The rain kept on falling, the water it was high. The mountains they did crumble, and the people they did cry. What have we done, Lord, and where have we failed? But the water kept on rising, and it did prevail. The rain kept on falling, and the water it rose high. The mountains they did crumble, and the people they did cry. What have we done, Lord? Where have we failed? Thank you.
And I was 14 years old, and I had put my first group together with some kids by the name of David Kidd, Curtis Kidd, and Mitchell Huffman. So in our first band, we call it the New Edition. And we were trying to be somebody and trying to make it, you know. I remember practicing that day. I remember I got up that morning. That day was real vivid to me. We had practice that day, but I got up. I was trying to sleep in that morning, and there was a mockingbird outside my window that just raised and came and would not let me sleep. And I was a young boy. I needed my sleep, you know, and I was fussing at that mockingbird, wouldn't shut up. And so the day went on. It was a real hot day, as you remember, and there wasn't much, the wind wasn't blowing at all. It was a real still day, as I recall. But we had practice that day at Curtis and David's house, and like I said, Mitchell Huffman was playing bass for us. And that after we finished practicing, we went back. We started packing up and everything. And we told Mitchell, we said, "Why don't you stay here with us tonight?" He said, "No, I think I'm gonna get on back up on the creek." He lived up on Davis Creek. And he went on that night, and we never saw him again. Mitchell never was found. And we always wondered, you know, how we could have done with Mitch playing bass for us. And we miss him very much. But there's so many of those stories of people that were in our lives one moment and gone the next moment. It just makes you realize how valuable and how precious life is. And those that are gone on, they were here. You know, they were here. We made memories with them. We laughed. We played with them. We worked with them. And their memories matter. So I wrote this song recently. I was thinking about that night, and I wrote this song about them, about the victims, and that, you know, they're gone, but they're not forgotten, and they never will be forgotten. And as long as I can tell the story, and I'm sure Joey and Benny feel the same way, we're going to tell the story of the flood of Camille, 1969, and about those people who died, because they were precious to us. They were important, and they still are. And I feel their spirit with us here right today. I feel them all right here. So this song goes out to them. It's called "You're Not Forgotten." There's a mockingbird singing in a dogwood tree outside my window, reminding me of a time gone by. August 19th, 69. That day seemed like the world stood still, 'cause the wind didn't blow on the mountains or the fields. A storm was coming without a warning, her name Camille. And the rain came down with a mighty roaring sound, and the mountains fell and mixed the water and the blood. We never heard their cries, we didn't get to say goodbye. So I'll be your voice, and I'll tell your story. We won't forget you. She came from hell like a thief in the night, with no regard for any life, and washed away our friends and families. So many died, some never found. Their graves lie here on sacred ground. Yeah, you were here, and in our hearts you'll always be. We'll hear your spirit in the whippoorwill song. Remember you and sing along. Amazing grace and precious memories. Well, the rain came down with a mighty roaring sound, and the mountains fell and mixed the water and the blood. We never heard their cries. We didn't get to say goodbye. So I'll be your voice and tell your story. We won't forget you. There's a mockingbird singing in a dogwood tree outside my window, reminding me of a time gone by. August 1969. Thank you all.
Miss Emily Moxley, stand up, darling, if you can. Yeah, that's right. And her and I wrote a couple songs. I'm just tickled pink to just be a tag along up here.
Is Emily here? Where is she?
She's there.
Okay.
Got that big old smile.
She wrote a poem about it, and Benny, we got together and we took a verse of her poem and put it in this song. So it starts off with a chorus, a bridge, and then the first verse that you hear in there is Emily's contribution, which was really great to set it off. And we didn't have a second verse, and then Benny and I went to Lynchburg to do a promo thing on Channel
Thanks
30.
to Woody. Thanks to Woody. He took us up to WSET.
And
Jimbo, he was out of town. He was busy.
on the way back, I said, we haven't finished this song. And he said, well, I was thinking about, like coming full circle or something, And I said, okay, well, that sounds good. And so then we went ahead and finished it. So we're going to do it for you. And it's called You Left But You Never Left Us. I would do that. It's the first time we've done this, so, not any nerves up here. I'm too old to be nervous anymore.
We ain't gonna worry about that. We're among friends, ain't we?
Yeah. Somebody said back stage a while ago, a friend of mine said, I'm the only guy that they know would wear a $100 shirt and a $3 dollar store hat. But I got my hair done for this event. So.
And the only man I know's got a cabin near his trailer.
That's right. You left, but you never left us. Why won't you leave us, Camille? With the memories of families around us, with mountains that will never heal. You left, but you never left us. Why won't you leave us, Camille? Now the years have moved on, but we still feel the grief. All that was taken by that dreadful thief. In our minds it's over, but it's ever more real. You left, but you never left us. Why won't you leave us, Camille? The midnight skies are angry, but it didn't stay long. Now we've come full circle. We're Nelson County strong. We know you won't leave us, but we know the deal. left, that you never left us. Why won't you leave us, Camille? With the memories of families around us, with mountains that we'll never heal. You left, but you never left us. Why won't you leave us, Camille? Why won't you leave us, Camille? Thank you. You know, for something to be so devastating, to take so many lives and touch so many people, for people to write so many songs about it, everybody that was still alive that night, you talk to them and they've got a story. So there was a lot going on with this thing. So we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Absolutely.